Welcome to Blooming Joy Farm. My name is Gene Conrad, and today I want to show you a gate concept we've been using on our farm for about a year. It solves some problems that standard gates can't solve and costs about half as much. The basic FlexGate is just made with standard lumber and standard hardware you can source locally. I've built four different gates here on our place. We've been using, each one has a few different features and purposes about why we built it the way we built it. And we'll show you all of those gates. So let's take a look at the FlexGate and how it can solve some common problems that people have with standard gates and why it's an advantage. One of the biggest problems the FlexGate solves is the ability to install a gate on a slope. Normally with a standard gate, everything's got to be level, but that's not so with the FlexGate, because the FlexGate swings vertically also. So that's the big advantage of this thing, and it opens up so many possibilities. I used a pintle hinge that allows it to swing We can swing both directions over 90 degrees for well over 180 degrees of swing. You can also see we've got a mess here. And with the standard gate, if it swung close to the ground, we'd have to clean all that up. Or if there was snow out here, we'd have to shovel snow in order to open the gate. With the FlexGate, we just pick it up and go over everything. So that's really how it works. It's super simple. Come on in and I'll show you some of the details of how we made it. It's very simple. You can see at this joint, all there is this is a 1/4-inch bolt with a flat washer. It's got a flat fender washer between the boards, and on the other side there's another flat washer and a lock nut. You could use a nylock, or this is just just a standard lock nut. And that's all there is to it. It's a parallelogram. Granted, it's not as strong as a standard gate, but we really haven't had trouble with our animals breaking through or anything. The pintle hinges is the style I like to use the most, and it's the easiest to install. It gives you the widest amount of swing, and then the best way to latch, we think, any gate is just with a simple chain and a dog clip. So anyway, that's the basic concept, and like I said, it gives you the ability to lift over objects, and you don't have to. It's just so much easier to use. So let me show you a couple other installs and how it works in other locations. All right, this is just a high traffic area in our barn. We got feeders and waters and different areas some of our animals can go to. And this is a FlexGate, and right now we've got it at this location, and we can latch the chain here. We can pick it up, move it to the next location, and we've got another chain we can latch here. If we want to store it out of the way, and notice how, there's a chicken in the way, but that's all right. We can work around it. So we can store it back here, or most of the time we actually keep it all the way open the other way. Now you notice we moved a feeder recently, but that's not a problem. We can clear it, and then I just store it on this just kind of a hook that's mounted on the post there. It's just really convenient and easy to use. So this is another one of our FlexGates. This was the second one I built. It's still all 1x4 material or 1-inch material all throughout, and it's still holding up. It's a little wonky, and part of the reason is because I've got the longer, this is 3.5-inch extension here for it to stand on. And here I thought I'd put them in the middle, and I don't like that. Now I'm doing just one long one on the end, like on the first one that we looked at. But I wanted to point out, this is just a fence post in the fence line. There isn't any special bracing like a lot of times you have to do with a gate post because of the extra load. Because this gate is not hanging on that post. It's not putting any load on it. So I haven't tried it yet, but this next spring, I'm gonna try putting one of these long gates just on a steel T-post and see how it does. All it's gotta do is keep it from flopping over. It doesn't have to hold all the weight of the gate hanging off the hinges. So that's an important feature because it makes it easy for temporary fencing, or like here, you know, we didn't have a gate here, but now we do, and we didn't have to do anything special to support the gate. So let's go take a look at the last one, and I'll show you some more things with that. Here's another example of a FlexGate. This area through here is next to the irrigation canal. This alley is where the tractors go to maintain the canal, so they won't let us put a permanent fence across here. There was some old wood panels like this across here, and they finally collapsed. I really didn't want to put in a real heavy post. They definitely don't want me to dig more holes in the canal. This railroad tie here is pretty substantial, and it's in there real good, but it's nowhere close to plumb, so I couldn't hang a gate off of that. And we also had the challenge of what do you do with little triangle holes. So what I did was I set this post. It's in about 2 feet. It doesn't have any special bracing. This isn't anything. It's not even in the ground. And then I put this 2x6 pressure treated threshold across, trenched it so the tractors can drive over it, and that helps support the gate. And filled in the little triangle areas with some extra wood. I just used a standard gate hinge. I didn't use the pintle style because this can just swing one direction. If I had used the pintle style hinge, it could have swung both ways, but here the gate's sitting on this threshold, so it latches. There's a metal bracket here that catches this board, and then the long one underneath slips behind this threshold board, and that holds the gate in place. And then now if I had used the other style hinges with this, we still could have swung it that way, even though, you know, we're banging up against this, because we can definitely come up high enough to go over. I just didn't use the right style of hinge to swing that way. So we're going to swing this way. And a 14-foot gate, if I were to let go of this with a 14-foot gate hanging on a post that's in wet ground with no support, it would just pull that post out of the ground, but we can just let it hold its own weight. So that's a real significant advantage to the FlexGate. So if you're interested in building a FlexGate, we'd love to help you out with it. Go to our website, bloomingjoyfarm.com, and you can download a drawing that goes over the dimensions, the hardware, that kind of thing. And in the near future, we're planning on offering a kit that will help simplify the process and actually make a gate that can swing or latch from either end, which can be real convenient sometimes. So anyway, check it out. Let us know what you think. And I've got one more thing I want to show you about just some standard wood gates, some tips that I've learned over the years. I used to build fences and decks, and saw gates that were just poorly built. And I'll show you the kind of gate that I was taught how to build. It's lightweight and strong and very, very useful. So let's take a look at that. All right, here's just a standard wooden walk gate. This is real high traffic area. This gate's about 10 years old, and it's real lightweight, real simple. It's just two 2x4s on edge with a diagonal in between. All of the joints are screwed together, And if you put the screws on diagonals as far apart as you can, that makes it makes the joint stronger. The FlexGate doesn't work real well in this kind of a situation because we want a gate that we can just bump open with the wheelbarrow, going back and forth. FlexGate, you have to pick it up and move it, so that is one disadvantage. One thing I also wanted to point out with this is that we've got a screen door spring on it here that so it'll pull it shut. And recently I moved the fence line, so I moved that post and I got it just a little too far away, and I put a 2x4 spacer here. And if you want to come in this way, I'll show you. So as we open this gate, it'll pull itself shut until you get to the point where this spring passes the hinge line, and now it pulls it open, and it'll hold it open. And so that's a real convenience. So even when I'm working by myself, depending on how far I open the gate, I can either have it spring back or I can have it stay open. And building it this way, it's real. Like I said, this gate's over 10 years old, and I weigh 200 pounds, and this gate is just fine. It's just pine verticals, and I think Doug fir horizontals and 2x4s, and it's held up really well. Nothing pressure treated or anything like that. One of our big goals here at Blooming Joy Farm is to invite other homesteaders to come grow with us. So we're going to be doing videos on things we're doing around our farm. This next year we're going to implement intensive rotational grazing, how we deal with raising a variety of species. We've got cattle, sheep, pigs, chickens on a little 9-acre farm. So if you're interested in homesteading, we invite you to subscribe, watch our blog. Julie's going to have some great recipes and great information, everything from cheese making and bread making to gardening and farming. And so stick around, subscribe, and come grow with us. Thanks for watching.